In the last lesson, we learned that not all AI companies are created equal. Some are wrappers, some own workflows, some dominate a vertical, others become platforms. And each archetype follows a very different economic destiny. But regardless of which archetype a company belongs to, every AI business faces the same fundamental question: where does the money actually go? Every time a customer asks a question, generates an image, writes code, or completes a workflow, your company incurs real costs. If compute has become the new cost of goods sold, then AI companies need the same operational discipline that manufacturers have used for decades. They need to know exactly what it costs to produce one unit of value. And that's where one of the most important operating frameworks in AI comes in: the AI bill of materials. Let's step inside a single AI request and follow the money. Imagine you are a PM and you work on a brand new AI copilot. Customers love it, usage triples, leadership is celebrating, and then finance calls you. Your cloud bill has doubled. Nobody expected it. Engineering says it's just inference cost. Finance says something doesn't add up. But here's the truth: AI doesn't have one cost, it has dozens of costs. Most companies only measure one of them. And that is why we need something called an AI bill of materials. Manufacturers have used bills of material for decades. If you're building a car, you know every screw, every wire, every bolt, every seat. AI products deserve exactly the same discipline. Every response your customer sees is assembled from multiple hidden components. If you don't understand those components, you don't really understand your product. Let's follow a single customer request. Imagine a customer uploads a legal contract and asks, summarize the key risks. From the customer's perspective, these feels like one iteration. One prompt, one answer, but behind the scenes, your AI application performs a surprising amount of work. It retrieves relevant documents, it chooses the right model, it generates the response, it may invoke external tools, it checks for harmful content, it logs the interaction for debugging, it stores the traces for future analysis. Every one of those steps costs you money. The customer sees one response, your business pays for the entire workflow. That is why AI requests don't have a cost, they create costs. Here's a mental model that I use all the time. And every technical component inside an AI system has a financial twin. Engineers think in terms of architecture, finance thinks in terms of invoices. Product managers need to understand both. When engineering adds retrieval, finance sees the storage and vector database costs. When engineering adds browser tools, finance sees another API bill. When engineering adds evaluation, finance sees additional compute. Every architecture decision eventually shows up on your profit and loss statement. Great AI PMs learn to connect those two worlds. Now, we can introduce the AI bill of materials. Notice that the 9 cost lines aren't random. They naturally fall into 4 groups. The first group is the generating intelligence group. That's your direct inference cost. The second one is supporting intelligence. Things like retrieval, embeddings, and tool calls help the model produce better answers. The third one is operating intelligence, which includes evaluation, monitoring, logging, safety. These systems rarely create customer value directly, but they're essential for running AI in production. Finally, there are business premiums. They're the cost you pay because you use managed AI infrastructure or because your customers expect guaranteed availability. Now, here's the mistake almost every first time AI PM makes. They estimate inference cost, multiply tokens by API pricing, and assume they're done. But inference is only the visible part of the iceberg. Under the surface are dozens of supporting systems that quietly add to your cost. None of them seem expensive on their own, but together they often account for another 5 to 15% of your total AI spend. That's why experienced AI teams never ask, "What's your token bill?" Rather, they ask, "What are we not measuring?" Next, imagine finance tells you that your AI infrastructure cost this month was 18 lakh rupees. You build your AI bill of materials and your estimate cost comes to around 17 lakhs. Which number do you trust? Great product teams don't assume the invoice is wrong. They assume their understanding of systems is incomplete. The gap becomes an investigation. Did we forget nightly evaluation jobs? Are browser tool calls being attributed correctly? Did moderation requests increase? Are observability costs sitting in another budget? Every unexplained difference teaches you something about how your system actually works. The goal isn't to match the invoice perfectly on day one. The goal is to continuously improve your financial understanding of the product. The AI bill of materials isn't something you build once and file away. It's a living operational document. Tag every inference call so that you know exactly which feature, customer, and model generated the cost. Build bill of materials for each product instead of relying on blended averages, because a single unprofitable SKU can be hidden inside healthy overall margins. Then break down cost by customer cohort. Your most active users often consume a disproportionate share of compute. Finally, revisit your bill of materials regularly. Model pricing evolves, customer behavior changes, your cost structure changes with it, and a 6-month-old AI bill of material is already out of date. The AI bill of materials isn't just about understanding costs, it's about creating visibility. Once you understand where every rupee is being spent, you can make better architectural decisions, better pricing decisions, and better product decisions. But understanding cost alone isn't enough. Two AI products can spend exactly the same amount of money, yet create completely different amounts of customer value. So in the next lesson, we introduce a metric that every AI PM should know. It is called cost per successful outcome, or CPSO. Because in AI, the goal isn't simply to generate responses, it is to generate valuable outcomes efficiently.